First of all, a technology that's smart and intuitive. So it has to know that if a customer lands on my landing page, they're going to go left, then they're going to go right, then they're going to go down, and then they're going to bounce off. So you need to be intuitive in your technology. That's the first thing. The second thing is when you go online and you buy as a customer, what then happens once you've made that purchase is it mobilizes many people in the organization. It mobilizes the customer care who have to make sure that your order is intact, the logistics, which is the inbound, the outbound, the quality, the last mile, and it has to mobilize your couriers. It has to mobilize your payment gateway. So we're talking about 15 people are mobilized in the organization for every single order. When you walk into a store, you walk to the shelf, you put that shirt on your son or daughter, too small, too big, you will go to the other shelf, you like that shirt, you put it in your basket, you go to the checkout, and you leave. You have become an employee of the store. So the only person really that you need in the store is the person behind the counter and the person who's basically folding the clothes, 2 or 3 people at most, versus the 15 people you need in e-commerce. So the touch points in e-commerce are many, and if one of these touch points goes wrong, then the entire A to Z process flow for the consumer goes wrong. And that's why it's such a logistically complex business, and that's why a lot of giant retailers haven't gone online, because the DNA of an online player is very different than that of an offline player.
This is what I want. I'll go back to the audience and to the mothers. You can buy stuff online from hundreds of places. You can buy it from Amazon. We can buy it from various places. And so you potentially are building a brand and a community and a sense of connection. I think that's probably one of the core differentiators, because the products are all the same, aren't they? Because you can buy Fisher-Price, you can buy all of this from wherever you go.
Okay.
And the price points is very, very small in terms of differentiation.
So you said earlier on that you're going to make me cry, and you're going to make me cry now. So that's not the case. So
Okay.
there are many differentiators. So let me explain. First of all, when you order from Amazon, you're going to shop and ship it probably, right? Or Amazon Prime, for those of you who have Amazon Prime. Go to Mum's World today and do a comparison of buying something from Mum's World, whether it's a stroller or a Sophie the Giraffe toy, and shipping it from Mum's World versus shipping it from Amazon. First of all, it's cheaper to do it from Mum's World. Now, that's been an evolution, to be fair, and to be clear, the 100,000 products that we're displaying on the website, not all of them are there yet. Many of them are. Most of them will be by the end of this year. That's the first thing. The second thing is, it will get to you in 2 to 3 days in Mum's World. It will get to you in a week or longer from Amazon. You can return it. You can exchange it from Mum's World. You can't return it or exchange it from Amazon. You have it in Arabic on Mum's World. You don't have it in Arabic in Amazon. You pick up the phone, you talk to a customer care and say, listen, I'm stuck. I'm a mother with a child with colic. Help me out. What's the right bottle for a child with colic? You can't do that abroad. So there are a lot of elements to having a regional expert brand that is invaluable. Saudi Arabia, you look at our Instagram account in Saudi Arabia, we have 50 million people in Saudi Arabia, 50 million moms that we're engaging with on a daily basis just on Instagram. So these are moms who are coming to us on Instagram at 2 a.m. in the morning and saying, I want a bed where the baby can sleep next to me. What do you suggest? And they're speaking in Arabic. That's not something that you can do with an international brand. So the local expertise, the understanding of the local consumer is invaluable.
So localization, customization, that's your core differentiator.
And
pricing.
And price.
Okay. All right, let's go back to the SME group here. Could we have a mic, please? We can address that. The question I would have from you is that you've heard some of the elements there: supply chain management, brand building, advice on team building, personal passion being one of the key drivers in terms of selection and so on. In your experience, would you like to ask Muna questions about scaling the business or some key point in your business that she as an expert, because she's a living, walking success. So you have an opportunity to ask. Is there anybody here who would like to do that, please? Yes, ma'am. Another mother, I hope. Mother? No, not a mother? Okay. Okay. No, not just a wife. That's even more important.
Hi, Mona. Congratulations on Mom's World. My name is Manju. I'm a co-founder of a beauty brand, Eleanor. And my question for you is, what did it take, first of all, for you, the challenges you faced in bringing from 0 listing to 100,000 products? And in order to meet your supply chain challenges, are you doing more of a marketplace model, or are you more of an inventory-led model? I mean, how do you achieve that 2-day delivery factor that delights all mothers around the region, that they're able to get their products?
Good question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So how did we build? I think two questions. How did we build from a 0 to 100,000 products? Is that correct? So when we launched Mom's World in the end of 2011, it was a chicken and egg story where we said, do we get the products first or do we get the customers? Because if you have products and no customers and they don't sell, then your suppliers will not supply you the products. And similarly, if you have customers but no products, you lose the customers. So we had to very early on do things in parallel. And I remember it was really a knocking on the door of these big brands. And we listed the big brands. It's the Chicos, the Fisher-Price, the Greycos, the Maxi-Cosis, all the big global brands. And we said, we need to go into the distributors, the retailers, the manufacturers, and with very little cash, we were not deep-pocketed in cash at all. We need to convince the Chico supplier to give us stock without us paying for it. And he doesn't even know us. So it was that pitch. It was that knocking on the door, getting that appointment, sitting there, and again, here's my passion. This is what we're building in the region. We're going to make a mother's life easier, and we're empowering mothers in the Middle East. We're revolutionizing shopping for the Middle Eastern mother. Do you want to join us in that journey? Zero risk for you. You give me your catalog. I'm going to merchandise your catalog. I'm going to market your catalog. If it doesn't sell, you haven't lost anything. I give you back your products. And if it's sold, you win and we win. On day one, so just to give you perspective, we incorporated the company in August of 2011. We went into beta in October of 2011, and we went live with 15,000 products in September of 2011. With all the big brands. And today we are 100,000 only because of resource limitations. So we get, on average, per week, 3,000 SKUs additional that we can add to the website. We are now looking at global bestsellers, award winners, and really being very selective in how we grow our range. Coming back to your second question, that is, are you a marketplace model? So we are here basically to become that go-to destination for mothers for their baby and child shopping. That means that as a mother, you need to know that if I go to Mom's World, I'm going to find the widest range of strollers at the best everyday low prices, and I'm going to be able to search, compare, and buy. To do that, you need to work with retailers, distributors, manufacturers, etc. So a lot of retailers in the Dubai Mall, for example, who don't know how to come online, or don't have the money to come online, or don't have the time to come online, we are that entry point. So Oshkosh, as an example. So Oshkosh has a storefront. The Bub's Boutique, the Bright Side of Life, all these are retailers who have storefronts on Mom's World, and we do everything, the A to Z. We do the marketing, the logistics, the last mile, and they just sell. So it's almost like having an online mall, if you like. And for the mothers, it's that go-to place, that one go-to place where she gets everything she needs.
Any other question?
Brilliant. What are the strategies you was using when you started Mom World in 2011? Is it SEO or banner advertising or social media? My second question: what thing is making the big role of success of any e-commerce website or company? Is it the advertising strategy, or the mailing list, which is the sales funnel, or the relationship between the company and the customer on the social media? That's it only.
Two questions really here, just if I can recap that question. Question one is, what was the business strategies and the marketing strategies when you started? And second is, what are the differentiating strategies for any e-commerce business to win today? Correct, sir?
Yep.
Thank you.
So our objective early on was very simple. Our objective was to have the largest catalog of baby and child products in the region, It means that one of our strategies was to go out there and make sure that we have all the best brands. And it was an evolution. It was something that wouldn't happen overnight, but we had to basically prioritize. We start with X, we go to Y. We are not even there yet. I mean, I think, if you ask me the same question in a year from now, I can tell you today that I have 9,000 SKUs that nobody in the Middle East region has. And I feel very proud about that. I can tell you today that I have 12 brands that are exclusive. They're bestsellers on Amazon. They're exclusive to me in the region. I feel very proud about that. So we will continue to grow that. So growing the catalog is something that's very important. That was a key strategy. And having good relationships with the suppliers. The other one was about, and this is very important, e-commerce. There are many ways you can grow e-commerce. You can grow your top line very, very fast. If you understand the basics of online marketing, PPC, SEO, A/B testing, the basics of online marketing, which by the way is very different than offline marketing. For those of you who are online digital marketeers, you probably understand this. If you understand the basics of online marketing, it's very easy to grow your top line. The problem with growing your top line in e-commerce very quickly is everything that happens under that will fall flat on its face. And we did that early on. So we started growing. We were very excited. We said, grow it from 100 sales to 200 sales to 300 sales. And before we knew it, we weren't able to deliver because we don't have enough resources in inbound. We didn't have enough resources in outbound. The people packaging the products. Our payment gateway was failing. Our server couldn't take the load. So everything that can go wrong went wrong. I mean, I say this story and my husband and I went to Hajj 2 years ago, and it was the most blessed experience for me. And at the end of the Hajj experience, for the first time in 10 days, I opened my mobile and I called the office, one of our partners, and I said, "How's business?" And my partner said, "The site has been down for 10 days." So I thought one of two things has happened. Either my Hajj was not accepted, or we needed to learn some quick lessons. And that's essentially what we did. We had to understand that, okay, the server can only take so much load. So as an e-commerce, you need to grow smart as opposed to grow fast. And whenever you reach certain milestones, you need to check, put your checks and balances in place. The other one is grassroots. Because the e-commerce marketplace in this part of the world is still underdeveloped relative to global, you need to do a lot of grassroots efforts, relationships, affiliations, partnerships. We have an affiliation with Ataya, for example, with Visa. We have an affiliation with 96 schools, nurseries, and hospitals in the entire region, where we are basically their preferred supplier. We have a relationship with Jumeirah Group, where we're their preferred supplier. These kind of grassroots relationships anchor you as the go-to, again, for that particular vertical.
What are the top 3 or 4 key performance indicators that you use on a day-to-day basis to evaluate your business?
So the first one is margins, gross margins. Again,
how do you compare internationally to yourself regionally?
So e-commerce globally, the average gross margin globally is 17%. That's a successful gross margin. Depending on what vertical, so electronics can go as low as 1 to 2%. And then you have fashion, which can go all the way up to 50%. But the average is about 17%. In this part of the world, the average is about 10%. We are north of 35%. So our gross margins are double global averages. And that was very important to us because we knew that when we come into this business, we will never have the deep pockets that some of the big venture funds have. And we thought, you know what, we don't want to battle that game. We just want to do things, again, with excellence, do things differently. So having a good gross margin that would allow us to build a scalable, sustainable business was very important. That's one. The other one is loyalty, repeat purchase. So what's typical of e-commerce is you buy your consumer every time the consumer buys. So how many of you go onto Google and you see ads coming on the left and right for a website that you had been on the day before? Remarketing. So what that brand is doing is you've probably bought something or you've probably browsed. They're chasing you. They're following you until you buy. So that's That's money spent with that marketeer trying to reacquire you or to acquire you, convert you to a purchase. And that's basically marketing spend. What we want to do is we want to spend the marketing until we acquire you as a customer. And then we want everything else, all the touch points in the website to be so bulletproof that you will come back and buy again and again without us having to continue to reinvest. So we have today 45% repeat purchase, 45% loyalty. 45% of our customers today buy on average 5 to 6 times. That's a very high conversion and repeat purchase. Now again, we have made a lot of mistakes, to be clear, and we continue till today from marketing with customers to make a lot of mistakes. We have been late with orders, we have delivered the wrong orders, we have failed to deliver orders, and it's an evolution with e-commerce, and it's a journey, and it's something that we are also learning, and we're trying to put best practices in place.
So gross margin, loyalty, what else?
Conversion.
Conversion.
Conversion. So for every dollar, and then ROI. So for every dollar that I'm spending, how much am I getting back? So when e-commerce players look at their numbers, or let me put it this way, a cohort. Right. So if I'm acquiring a mommy today to buy from me, how long is this mother staying with me as a cohort? So if this same mother is staying with me for 2 years and buying from me all the time, she's a very solid cohort. What that also means is that I'm paying out this mother very, very quickly. The average globally, successfully, is between 14 to 18 months. So a brand that's able to pay out a customer within 14 to 18 months is considered to be successful. We do it within 2 to 3 months. So we're able to pay out our acquisition at a fraction of the time that globally brands are able to do.
What you just touched upon is something I was going to come in later, and that is the ethics and the sense of responsibility that you have as a business, because you are in a very emotional space. Like you said, a mother with a colic child will say yes to anything. And what kind of control mechanisms, what kind of ethical guidelines, what kind of value systems that you have to actually not harass the mother, chase the kids, you just sell hard? Because if you are getting so much repeat purchase, is it because you're just bombarding them, or are you giving them some other value proposition?
So a brand is a personality just like a person. A person is driven by certain ambitions and by certain values. And oftentimes that brand reflects the people managing it. Very core to us as a brand are certain values. So for example, me as a mother, and again, you know, I was a partner at Bait when I had my first 2 children. They were twin boys. And for the first time...
I have their pictures. I think we'll personalize.
Oh, you do?
Hang on. There we go.
For the first time ever, and this is after having launched Bait, I actually felt stuck. I felt that I was being a terrible mother. And the reason I felt that I was being a terrible mother to these Tariq and Sufyan was because I didn't know what to do. I really didn't. What do I buy them? How do I educate them? How do I get them the best possible things to make them happy, contributing young men? And it was that question, or that value, if you like, that really drove and mobilized Mum's World. And the Mum's World values are very much to that. It's about empowerment, empowering the mother to feel that she's doing her best, giving her all the resources and the tools to allow her to do the best, and to be completely